Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, morning.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, good morning. We will start in a couple of minutes. We will wait for other participants to join. So I will advise that unless you are speaking, it's better that you have your microphone off and also your camera turned off in order to avoid any connectivity issues. We expect a high participation, so it will be better to just try to avoid any technical problems.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, we can hear you, yes.
Fine, thank you very much.
And before we start on the technical side, the webinar will be recorded. So if you have any issue of the recording, please let us know, and we will, if you speak, we will stop the recording in order to be filling your request. So feel free to let us know. So I think we can start. Good morning to everyone, and a very warm webinar. My name is Lefteris Dukopoulos. I'm an associate researcher at the Hellenic Institute of Transport in Greece, and I will serve today as the moderator. This webinar is being co-organized by the Balkan and Black Sea Commission of the Conference of Regions, the International Center for Black Sea Studies, and the Hellenic Institute of Transport. So over the next couple of hours, we will discuss transport in the Balkan and Black Sea region. The webinar builds upon the results of the Regional Stakeholder Conference on Black Sea Synergy that was held over a year ago here in Athens. And the main objective of today is to be informed about the latest developments on the policy frameworks that apply in the region and foster cooperation and partnership building, to better understand the contribution of accessibility to supporting regional development, and identify skills that are required in order to support growth in the transport sector over the short and medium term. And these are actually the thematic sessions of today's webinar. It's a great pleasure to have with us today a number of distinguished speakers, and I would like to thank them very much for taking the time to be here with us today and provide us with valuable input and feedback. Before we start, I would like to just take a few seconds and remind everyone that the webinar is being recorded. Unless you speak, it's better that you have your microphone off and your camera also turned off in order to avoid any connectivity issues. At the end of each session, we will have a question and answer debate. So if you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand. There is a specific button here you can push, and I will give you the floor. Or otherwise, you can insert your question in the chat, and we will pick it up and address it to the respective speaker. And for the speakers, I would like to just remind, because we are a little bit tight on the schedule, I will give you an indication once your time is up. I will just let you know that you have 1 or 2 minutes to conclude your presentation or intervention. So with no further delay, I would like to give the floor for the opening to Mr. Valentin Moldoveanu, Tulcea County Councillor and Acting President of the Balkan and Black Sea Commission of CPMR. Mr. Moldoveanu?
Yes, hello, you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Hello, everyone. I very likely to see here on this webinar on transport and the Black Sea and Balkan region. I think it's a great idea of the CPMR and the Black Sea and Balkan region to organize this webinar for our issues in transport. Don't me. My name is Valentin Moldoveanu. I am country councillor of Tulcea, Romania, and the acting president of the Balkan and Black Sea Commission from CPMR. I would like to express my gratitude to all of you for being virtually with us today at this event co-organized by the Balkans and Black Sea Commission of the CPMR, the International Center of the Black Sea Studies, and the Hellenic Institute of Transport of the Center of Research and Technology in Greece. For those who might not know us yet, the CPMR is an association of regions bringing together more than 115 regions from 24 states of European Union and beyond, representing about 200 million people. The CPMR campaigns in favor of the balanced development of the European territory. It operates both of the think tank and the lobby of the region. The CPMR has an extensive network of contacts with the European Union, European institution, the European Commission, and the European Parliament, and the national government, and since his creation in 1973. It has been targeted its action, ensuring that the needs and the interests of the member region are taken into account of the policies and high impact territory. So today we are here to learn about the latest development of the main strategy that apply in the Balkans and the Black Sea region, provide the framework for cooperation in the field of transport to better understand how the regional and local authority can be found from improve accessibility of their development, and to identify the skills and that will be required in the futures. So that together with stakeholders from our region, universities, chambers of commerce, and enterprises, citizens, and others, we work closely to address common challenges such as employment and brain drain in our area. Close cooperation will help us to deal successfully with any challenge in our region and adapt for the future planning so that our region become attractive for our citizens for work and more attractive for investments. In the invite you to participate activity on today's debates. This will help us together with our umbrella organization, the Balkan and the Black Sea Commission and CPMR, to better adapt their policy work and lobbying activity in the European institutes to promote our interests. So we will ask us to see up more synergies. It will also help the organization to plan the next steps for today's webinar according to will be discussed. Let's make the most of our today meeting and hope to welcome you soon as co-partners to the CPMR and BBSC meetings. Thank you very much. Have good work.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your intervention. I think, as you said, it is important to know about what is happening in the region, and also this can be a starting point for new cooperations of the different members with CPMR and the other stakeholders that are in the region. So I think we can move on the first session, which focuses on the policies framework in the area. Our first speaker is Ms. Jovanovic. She's a coordinator of Pillar 2, connecting the region of the EU strategy for the Adriatic and Ionian region, and for the priority area 1B, railroad and air mobility of the EU strategy of the Danube region, and representative of the Ministry of Construction, Transport and Infrastructure of the Republic of Serbia. Ms. Jovanovic, you have the floor.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for inviting me and giving me the chance to present the latest development in both strategies. Strategy for the Ionian Adriatic, EU strategy for the Ionian Adriatic region, and also for the Danube, European Union Danube region strategy on behalf of all priority areas and pillars that are dealing with transport. So now I will prepare a presentation. I will just just a second to share it with you on the shared screen. So I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, we can.
Presented very well.
Yeah.
So as you see in both strategies, EUSIRE and EUSDR, we have in the first one 9 participating countries, 4 EU member states and 5 non-EU countries, which are actually the Western Balkan countries, Albania, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, North Macedonia and Serbia. And in the Danube strategy, we have 14 participating countries, 9 member states and 5 non-EU countries, which of 3 are also Western Balkan countries, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro and Serbia. Besides those Western Balkan countries participating in both strategies, we have also some EU member states like Croatia and Slovenia participating in both strategies, and they are EU member states, and those countries are also presenting the core which and the European regional strategy, macro-regional strategies. Those strategies have their overall objectives, and if you look on those overall objectives, we will see that they are pretty much the same, and they are to improve connectivity within the region and the rest of the Europe in terms of transport infrastructure and improved operation of transport system between the countries in the region, as well as merging the EU and non-EU transport system and bridging the gap between the EU and non-EU countries in the sense of improving the quality of transport infrastructure, quality of services, safety, and etc. Besides those overall objectives which are shared, the both strategies also develop the specific objectives. And on this slide, you will see you can see listed those specific objectives or targets. The wording is a little bit different, but the meaning is the same. And even differently formulated, they are also, those specific objectives are also pretty much the same, and they are aiming to improve connectivity and safety on the specific transport mode in the respective region, to support development efficiency of multimodality, and to contribute to competitiveness and better service of the specific transport mode, etc. In their efforts to implement those specific objectives and actions aiming to reach those specific and overall objectives of both strategies have also shared challenges. Those challenges are ownership, or ensuring the full involvement and decision-making capacity of all countries of the region. Then harmonization, in the sense that of combining national priorities in a coherent and jointly agreed framework to support the implementation of interventions of added value for the respective region and to promote interoperability. And alignment, which is guaranteeing availability of financial instruments for measures and projects by means of cooperation with the existing intergovernmental processes and organizations in the region. And why is that? Because, as you know, for the both strategies, we have 3 no new institutions, no new legislation, and no new funds. So it means that all our actions and our interventions, we have to find a way to cope with them within the existing framework of both the legislation and the institutional framework as well as funding framework. In the next few slides, I will try to present how each of these priority areas and pillars are coping, what are due in order to cope with those challenges. So in the EU CERTH, Pillar 2, subgroup transport, as a mean of overcoming these challenges, an action plan has been developed, which consists of several key parts or phases. Beside the defining of objectives, we also defined the priority actions, which are in the maritime transport, improving and harmonizing traffic monitoring and management, development ports, optimizing port interfaces, infrastructure and procedures, operations, and within the second priority actions, intermodal connections, those are developing the Western Balkans comprehensive network and developing motorways of the sea, cross-border facilitation. The second part or phase of this action plan was actually developing of a methodology for selection of projects which are contributing to the achievement of the defined goals. And this methodology is so-called labeling methodology. The project selection and the labeling methodology are based on general criteria which I identified in the EU CERTH action plan, specific criteria identified by the by the transport subgroup, and guiding principles defined in the EU CERTH governing board. So far, we have identified, labeled 50 transport projects clustered in infrastructure projects, and we have 27 of them, and soft measure projects, 23 of them. Now, the next phase is the developing a strategic master plan, which presents a dynamic tool for joint planning transport infrastructure in the Adriatic-Ionian region, upgrading and disseminating our vision, facilitating activation of adequate resources for innovative, up-to-date projects and mobility policies. The state of preparation of the master plan is that it is still ongoing process. So far, we finished the data collection on supply and demand of multimodal services and supply model. And the next steps are development of demand model and definition of reference scenarios to be assessed. We hope to have, sorry, something is wrong with the screen. I hope you can still see my presentation there. Okay, can you see my presentation?
I cannot.
Something happens, I don't know what, just a second. Now? Is it okay now? Okay,
yes, we can see it now.
So, and we hope to have the strategic master plan finished at some point in the second half of next year. As for the priority area 1B within the Danube region strategy, we have within our subgroup 1B steering group, we have also defined a number of projects which are contributing to achieving the defined targets and the implementing of defined actions. And the list of it is being published on the website of this priority area. But what we recently have done within our priority area 1B, we have revised the actions in order to make them more concrete, realistic, and in line with the latest development in the transport policy area. And now this is the list of the revised actions, which is the completion of TEN-T rail and road core network crossing the Danube region, then implementation of the rail freight corridors forming the part of the European rail network and competitive freight, with extension to the candidate and neighboring countries, to enhance the cooperation between air traffic stakeholders in order to improve regional connectivity and prepare plan to implement shorter plane routes, then to ensure the sustainable metropolitan transport system and mobility, to improve regional and local cross-border infrastructure and access to rural areas, to develop further intelligent traffic system, and to raise awareness of road safety and encourage exchange of best practices. Based on these priority actions revised, we have also developed a long list of priority topics to be dealt with after 2019. In this year, we have formed a long list of priority topics with the aim to be further discussed and shortened in the coming period. And we have within our steering group, we have the aim to have it finalized, this shortened list, before the end of 2021. I am not going to go one by one priority for each transport mode because they are also pretty much the same in the respective transport mode, and they are related to infrastructure, missing links, bottlenecks and maintenance, interoperability, multimodality, digitalization, cross-border improvement, safety, security, PSO obligations, sustainable transport, sustainable urban transport, etc. In this, just I would like to draw the attention to one of the priority topics, which are under the subtitle with regard to horizontal issues, and this is monitoring of new freight rail corridor, Alpine Western Balkan corridor, because this was one of the successful implemented accomplished initiatives within the priority axis, priority area 1B.
Ms. Jovanovic, if you can conclude if you have 1 minute.
Yes, I will conclude. Yes, yeah. I have only a few slides till the end.
Thank you.
So on this slide, you can also see the basic studies developed within the Danube strategy, priority area 1B, which is a transport analysis for the Danube region, transport infrastructure, road links, and the study of intermodal transport users' needs in the Danube region. However, the key transport documents for the Danube region are still missing, and this is the common transport vision for the Danube region and the Danube region transport master plan. And we are currently seeking for funding of those two key documents to be implemented. Very shortly, I will mention one currently ongoing process, so-called embedding process, which is actually a tool for finding, addressing the alignment challenge and finding the funding means for all actions and the priority topics that we already listed. It was an opportunity, seen as an opportunity for addressing territorial challenges in macro-regional strategies, more strategically, and in preparation of process of post-2030 programming within all European structural investment funds and others such as IPA and NDICE, former any funds. The aim of this process is coordinating and implementation of macro-regional strategies action plans with the EU priorities, as well as priorities of involved pre-accession and neighboring countries for the next financing period 21-27. And on this slide, I have shown what is the current state of this embedding process. For the Pillar 2 transport within the EU-CERTH, we have already defined our flagship topic, and also we have two flagship projects approved, and currently we share these priorities with the managing authorities of the European Territorial Cooperation and mainstream funding programs in the countries of the region. As for the Danube region strategy, priority area 1B, the state of embedding process is the priority topics are selected. The three listed here to improve the regional and local cross-border infrastructure and to access the rural areas by facilitating secondary and tertiary transport infrastructure, to develop further nodal planning for multimodality, and to enhance the cooperation between air traffic stakeholders in order to improve the regional connectivity. And also in this, within this strategy, creation of managing authority network is ongoing. The way forward for both strategies is further strengthening the cooperation between the macro-regional strategies, establishing and strengthening the cooperation with other relevant organizations and initiatives with special attention to transport community, fostering and supporting synergy of actions to better connected regions and safe mobility, further cooperation on implementation of EU Green Deal and macro-regional priorities, and further development of embedding tool and innovative solutions for new challenges. So for more detailed information, I'm kindly inviting you to visit the website of both strategies and the Pillar 2 subgroup transport of EU-CERTH, as well as a web page of priority area 1B within the Danube region strategy. And in case you have any additional questions, you can contact the pillar coordinators, which are for Pillar 2 Transport EU-CERTH, Mr. Pierluigi Coppola from Italy, Ms. Jasminka Kirkova from North Macedonia, and myself. And for the priority area 1B, you can contact coordinator Mr. Franz Žepić from Slovenia, or Mr. Miodrag Poledica from Serbia, or myself, because I'm support to both pacts within the Danube strategy. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Jovanovic. I think you gave a great overview of both strategies and the priorities they set. I think there are valuable tools for driving developments in the region. So I think it was a very good introduction to this session. And we move along with
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We move along with Mrs. Patrici, Counselor at the EU Strategy for the Danube region, Technical Secretariat of Naval Transport Directorate, and the representative of Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure and Communications of Romania. Ms. Patrici? You should turn on your microphone when you not hear you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I have a PowerPoint presentation. I will be sincerely, it's the first time when I'm making a presentation online with a PowerPoint.
No worries.
I think it will work. I cannot share the presentation. Maybe you can help me.
Yeah, next to your microphone, you can find a button that says Open Share.
Open, okay.
And with that, you will be able to share your screen. Okay, so I think if you open your presentation, yeah, we can see that.
I'm sorry for this.
If you no, it's okay. We could see your presentation a few minutes back. So if you repeat that, yeah, we can see that now.
You can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will start saying that the Danube region strategy provides an integrated framework. Provides an integrated a framework for strengthening the cooperation between nations. As my previous speaker said, brings together people for 14 countries, out of which 9 EU member states, 3 EU candidate countries, 2 EU neighborhood countries. And the strategy has an important integrative and cohesive function. The strategy has successfully, because we have until now 10 years working on it, and has successfully generated structures, projects, and networks to tackle common challenges. However, large dissimilarities between countries and within countries persist, highlighting the need for a continued and even reinforced joint endeavor. That's why I think the revised action plan, which was approved in April 2020, is the integrated response to this common set of challenges and opportunities. And further on, I will focus on the actions related to the inland waterway transport. This is the general overview of all pillars and priority areas. And according to the revised action plan, within our priority areas, we have six actions, 6 working group, and I will present everybody, all of them. First priority action is the waterway and port infrastructure and management. Here, this is the main priority action, and we concentrate this on the establish a stable fairway condition along the entire Danube. And we included here also the ports, and I want to say that modernizing and improving the ports here, it's a synergy with the regional development. What we have done until now under this action, it was developed and approved the Fairway Rehabilitation and Maintenance Master Plan, and it is implemented. It is implemented by a project financed by from Connecting Europe facility, the Fairway Danube, and the results of this project are endorsed every 2 years by the ministers of transport. They have a meeting and they sign the conclusions and a political declaration that improving the condition for navigation, it's a priority for all the countries, all the riparian Danube countries. So this is an example how the projects, the strategy, and the policy level are working. It's a good example for this. Within this project, Fairway Danube, there is a complete image of all the critical locations along the Danube, which hamper the navigation, and this image help to develop projects with the financing. For the Danube, there are projects, transnational projects as well as a lot of national projects. Under Fairway, a lot of equipments. It's a Fairway. It's a cooperation between the Inland Waterway Administration, and under this project, they bought a lot of equipment. They work together to have harmonized processes and to make the technical details of all of these acquisitions. Next action, it's the business development. This is a new action. This is a new action for our priority area 1A. The objective of this action is to support transnational initiative to promote inland waterways transport and business development in order to raise the modal share of inland waterway transport in the Danube region. In this action, we wanted to be involved in business-to-business meetings, and one of them it was supposed to be organized this October in Linz, the new business talks. But unfortunately, with this pandemic, we cannot organize. So we hope next year we'll have more actions in this priority. The third action is the facilitation of fleet modernization. This action contributes a lot to the green. What we want to do as priority area coordinators, we are monitoring the ongoing investments in greening and fleet modernization technologies. And we want to contribute to the development of our rollout strategy to support the uptake and practical implementation of innovation and modernization measures in the Danube fleet. Here we followed, because it was closed recently, a flagship project, Grendel, which brings us very interesting results, like a model state aid schemes for fleet modernization, and a lot of recommendation in order to decrease the and to improve the environment. The fleet for the fleet modernization and to meet the objective of the Green Deal, a lot of things were considered, like the use of alternative fuels, the reduction of air pollutant, energy consumption, also new vessel concepts. The next action is the support and further enhancement of river information services. The objective of this action is to continuously implement and improve harmonized river information services on the Danube and its navigable tributaries, according to the legal provision on European level, and to assure international data exchange. Under this priority, there is ongoing project which we are following, is the RISC-COMEX project, and this project search for solution to develop risk corridor, the management and its execution. The next action is to contribute to the enhanced quality of education and jobs. And here our objective is to solve the shortage of qualified personnel and harmonize standards for competencies for crew professions in the Danube navigation. We have on this recently directive of the EU on the recognition of professional qualification, not only in the EU member states, but also in non-EU riparian states. Here we are following the developments carried out under ESCIN. The directive was published in 2017, but further there are at the European level, it's a lot of work on the detailed list of knowledge and skills, content of practical examination, technical and functional requirements for simulators, medical fitness. All of these should be implemented in the EU member states until January 2021. Also, the directive.
You have a couple of minutes.
Okay. Also, the directive brings a lot of innovation because it has to be set up an information system to facilitate the exchange of data of the European level. And the last action is the harmonization and digitalization of cross-border administrative procedures. Here we were thinking to the simplification, harmonization, and digitalization of the border control for the ship. For this action, we are working a lot with we are collaborating with Priority Area 11. In the last 3 years, we worked for the Danube navigation standard forms, and the 3 forms were harmonized for all the Danube riparian countries: arrival and departure report, crew list, passenger list. Until now, it was the David forms are in many countries. And for this action, we set up also the priorities for the next year. We have also here a practical manual on border controls, which is very useful for those sailing on the ships and also for the authorities, and will be updated in next year. This is my presentation with all the actions. Of course, we can find a lot of synergies in the Balkans with actions at the Black Sea, and with all the priority areas. The priority area 1A is coordinated by the Federal Ministry of the Republic of Austria for climate action, environment, energy, mobility, and innovation and technology. And Waterway Administration for Austria via Donau, and the Ministry of Transport, Infrastructure and Communication of Romania. You have here the contact details. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Patricia. I think it's great to see the many actions that the strategy has integrated, and also very good to hear that there is a new one, as you said, on business development. There is also on fleet modernization, which is a great contribution to the Green Deal, but also the attention that is being placed on skills. So thanks for this overview. I think it was great to have it.
Yes, yes, we consider that we cover a lot of almost all the areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we now move to the next speaker, Mrs. Siljansko, Deputy Director. Sorry. Hello, Deputy Director of the Transport Community Permanent Secretariat. You have the floor.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Best regards from sunny Belgrade. Thank you for the invitation to be part of today's event. It gives me a great honor and pleasure to address you in my capacity as the Deputy Director of the Transport Community Permanent Secretariat. In my remarks, I will try to give you an overview of our organization works and our priorities in the Western Balkans in the coming period. So I will try to share a brief presentation now. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So Transport Community is an international organization working on integration of the transport markets of the Western Balkan regional partners into the EU. We are assisting all regional partners to adopt and implement EU legislation in the field of transport, and we are supporting projects that are connecting Western Balkans internally, as well as with the EU. In our work, we promote transport policies based on European legislation and standards. This will offer sustainable connectivity to our citizens, but as well as new business opportunities for the companies of the region. In order to make the transport community a reliable partner to the citizens and authorities of the region, we establish a set of priorities that will guide our work in the coming period. First, we believe that rail travel should be possible and attractive to our citizens. For this to happen, we need investment in the rail systems and to support the multimodal solutions that will move as much as possible cargo from roads to rail. We should also make better use of the inland waterways and maritime transportation. Second, we want to make the roads of the Western Balkans safe again. While road safety has in general improved in the EU, in the Western Balkans, numbers of the dead and injured are above the average, and therefore we must take decisive steps to change that. We have a clear goal. There should be no more dead and seriously injured because of the rail accidents on our roads. Making road safety is not only a political goal, but it is as well a moral imperative. Furthermore, transportation of goods and mobility of people across the region and with the EU should be seamless and safe. Borders should not be a source of frustration and delays. Citizens of our regional partners, visitors, and business wait too long at the border crossing, especially at the ones with the EU. And finally, the region of the Western Balkans should also be better connected. Traveling and transportation of goods should be faster, cheaper, environmentally friendly, and for the passenger more enjoyable. We can do that by investing in sustainable infrastructure and connect our roads, rail, ports, and airports in the trans-European transport networks. So far, we were all talking about action plans, so we have our action plans developed. So in order to move ahead with all the priorities we mentioned so far, we adopted 4 key documents: action plans on road, rail, transport facilitation, and road safety. These documents are instruction manual on all important steps and milestones with accompanying timeline that will guide us on the path on delivering concrete aims and ambitions: safer roads, reduced waiting times at the border crossing, reliable and modern rail, and roads of the future with included green and digital elements. The documents are aligned with the recently published European Commission Economic and Investment Plan for the Western Balkans, which envisions EU investment in the transport and connectivity project that will contribute to further integration of the region and better ties with the EU. The Road Action Plan aims toward development of climate resilient, intelligent, and resource-efficient TEN-T road network in the Western Balkans by including green and smart elements in road investment. Our final aim is to stimulate innovative, low-emission, and fit for the digital age road transport operations. Transport Facilitation Plan will further strengthen regional cooperation. Creation of joint one-stop go border crossing points, supported with better interaction of different transport modes, will enable smoother, more efficient, and less costly logistic chains. The Rail Action Plan provides the basis for the better integration with the EU rail market. A rail system which is safe, inclusive, reliable, environmental and socially sustainable, and interconnected with the region and with the EU is the overarching aim of the transport community. Road safety action plans, management, safer infrastructure, and protection of the road users. Its actions strive to support the zero-death objective and to encourage regional best practice examples. Transport community aim is to ensure that transport systems, no matter how they are configured, are safe and sustainable. And finally, 2020 was a year of immense challenge that forced us to rethink our approach and try to find the ways to cope with the emerging pandemic. In the Western Balkans, we at the transport community reacted quickly and together with our regional partners and European Commission, established and implemented the concept of green lanes, which prioritized essential goods to pass on our borders unobstructed and as fast as possible. When the restriction on the borders came up all around the world, in the Western Balkans, we did not experience any increase in the waiting times for the essential goods at the borders. At the Soviet summit recently, political leaders committed to work towards the 2050 target of a carbon neutral continent together with the EU through mainstreaming a strict climate policy and reforming energy and transport sectors. Additionally, they recognized the achievements of the green lanes to minimize the devastating COVID-19 effects. The successful establishment of the green lanes is a great example of inclusive regional cooperation. The summit also supported the initiative to extend the green lines towards the neighboring EU member states and expand their outreach and potential. This initiative will have an important impact to the economic recovery of the Western Balkans and will further mitigate severe economic consequences of the pandemic. So for more info on the action plans which I mentioned previously and on the Green Lane initiative, please feel free to visit our webpage where you can find more details and more content of what I mentioned so far. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It was great to hear about the action plans that you have put together, but also this Green Lanes initiative. I think it's great to hear that there are actions on addressing these core border delays and issues. So thank you very much. And we now go to the last speaker for the first session, Mr. Kravchenko, Project Coordinator of BSEC Permis. Mr. Kravchenko.
Yes, dear colleagues, good morning to everybody. It is a great pleasure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, it is a great pleasure to participate in this webinar, and I would like to thank the organizers for inviting us. I will try to share my screen. Can you see my presentation?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Next to the button for the microphone, you'll find another button that says Open Share Tray.
Yes, I'm trying it. Yes, just this presentation. Okay.
Okay. Let me see. Where is the presentation?
My presentation is here.
Okay. You are muted, right?
I think if you press the button, I think previously you were sharing your screen.
Yes, maybe. Can you see now?
Yes, we can see it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dear colleagues, the Organization of the Black Sea Economic Cooperation is a regional international entity that for the last 20 years promotes the economic cooperation among its member states and beyond. And with a great pleasure, I would like to inform you that on November 2020, the Republic of North Macedonia also joined the BSEC organization and became its 13th member. Today, BSEC is the oldest and institutionally the most mature regional entity, active in almost all sectors of public life. Of course, the transport sector is among sectors to which BSEC attaches particular attention. The organization has developed several important regional projects, mutually complementary, which are of major significance for BSEC region as well as for the Euro-Asian region. Our aim is to facilitate effectively utilize intra-regional capacity and growing transit potential of the Black Sea region, also integrate the national transport networks into the regional ones, and furthermore into the trans-European network and Euro-Asian transport linkages. Dear colleagues, the key priorities for BSEC activity in the field of transport are defined in the BSEC economic agenda towards an enhanced BSEC partnership, which was adopted in 2012. In few words, I will describe how we work. The meeting of the Ministers of Transport of the BSEC member states constitute de facto a decision-making high-level transport forum, which is mechanism for implementation. Working groups, also task forces, groups, steering committees, etc. So as of today, the following working bodies are established in the sector of transport. The Working Group on Transport, Steering Committee on Development of the Black Sea Ring Highway, Ad Hoc Working Group on Development of Motorways of the Sea, Steering Committee on Facilitation of Road Transport of Goods in the BSEC region, Task Force on Intermodal Transportation in the Black Sea region, and also one more task force on introduction of International Vehicle Weight Certificate. Dear colleagues, the next meeting of the Working Group on Transport, as well as the ministerial meeting, will be held next week on 23rd, 24th November 2020 under the Romanian chairmanship in office. The working group has its regular meetings, and it creates it carries out the functions as a working body for this cooperation. The working group is guided by the country coordinator, which is elected on a biannual basis. Dear colleagues, now I will inform you about the BSEC cooperation on transports. As it was mentioned, the BSEC organization pays special attention on transports, focusing mainly on how to better utilize intra-regional capacity and growing transit potential of our region. This cooperation encompasses development of modern road transport infrastructure, maritime infrastructure, and international transport of goods. As for the development of road infrastructure, two pet projects of our organization are the Black Sea Ring Highway and the motorways of the sea. Dear colleagues, these projects are implemented as integral parts of other greater initiatives covering the Euro-Asian region, like Trans-European Networks and TRASECA. The Black Sea Ring Highway entails the establishment of highway connecting riparian Black Sea member states with extension to capitals of all other member states. It is actually a project for upgrading mostly existing roads to highway standards, covering a distance approximately 7.5 thousand kilometers. Significant parts of this ring highway are ready, others are in phase of construction or planning. Cooperation on the development of road infrastructure was established within the Memorandum of Understanding on the coordinated development of the Black Sea Ring Highway, which was signed in 2007. The work on the project was institutionalized by the establishment of the relevant steering committee. A joint permanent technical secretariat was also established. On 1st November, the Hellenic Republic and the Republic of Albania assumed respectively the presidency and vice presidency in this steering committee for biennial period. And the Secretariat is managed by the public Greek company Ignatia Odos in Thessaloniki. Dear colleagues, in what concerns the development of maritime infrastructure, this project includes the upgrading of infrastructure in 43 ports of BSEC member states. by sea, the establishment of functioning maritime lines, and the promotion of multimodal transports. The project aims at creating the necessary infrastructure for better connecting the Black Sea ports and also the Black Sea with the Mediterranean and Caspian Seas. Development for the regional maritime infrastructure and links is underway within the Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed in 2007. All the members of BSEC are parties to this memorandum. And of course, this document is an important legal instrument for enhancement of cooperation on policy matters regarding the development of the motorways of the sea. The cooperation is coordinated by the relevant ad hoc working group. Also, on 1st November 2020, the Hellenic Republic and the Republic of Albania assumed respectively the presidency and vice presidency, this ad hoc working group. Joint Technical Secretariat is managed on a rotation basis. As at present, the Joint Technical Secretariat is hosted by Ukraine till the end of April 2021. Dear colleagues, facilitation of road transport of goods. The BSEC organization aims also to diminish bureaucracy affecting the movement of goods across land or sea borders by harmonizing and simplifying procedures, formalities, and necessary documentation. Cooperation on the gradual liberalization of transportation is going on within the Memorandum of Understanding on Facilitation of Road Transport of Goods in BSEC region. This memorandum was signed in 2002. The work on the MOU was institutionalized by the establishment of the Steering Committee on Facilitation of Road Transport of Goods. This work is being done in close cooperation and with the valuable support of our transport partners, first of all, the International Road Transport Union, IAU, and the Union of Road Transport Associations in the BSEC region, BSEC URTA. In order to achieve our set goals, we utilize the valuable expertise of the Black Sea, of the BSEC sectoral dialogue partners, first of all, Road Transport Association in the BSEC region, Black and Azov Seaport Association, BASPA, Black Sea Region Associations of Shipbuilders and Ship Repairers, BRAS, and Black Sea International Ship Owners Association, BINSA. Dear colleagues, also BSEC as a project-oriented organization continues exploring new areas of cooperation in a regional format. Within this framework and based on cooperation agreements and memoranda, BSEC has developed fruitful cooperation with other international organizations such as United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, the Central European Initiative, Executive Secretariat, Intergovernmental Commission Traseca, Danube Commission, also International Road Transport Union, International Road Federation, International Union of Railways. Dear colleagues, the ministers of transport of the BSEC member states repeatedly emphasized the great importance of enhanced cooperation between the BSEC and the European Union, international organizations of the UN system, and other international, intergovernmental, and non-governmental organizations, as well as organizations of regional economic cooperation and international financial institutions. They welcome the enhanced cooperation as they exist between BSEC and various international organizations and entities. The ministries also recognize the necessity for more extensive involvement of the business community in the implementation of projects for the development of transport infrastructure and transport links, particularly on the basis of public-private partnership. As a good example of such cooperation, in cooperation with BSEC, URTA, and IAU, we established and developed the BSEC permit system. Digitalization is also in the focus of BSEC. Upon the initiative of the Republic of Turkey in 2020, the interested BSEC member states started the implementation of the electronic permit pilot project. We also coordinate our efforts with BSEC family institutions, Parliamentary Assembly, Business Council, Black Sea Trade and Development Bank, Institutional Center for Black Sea Studies, who is among co-organizers of our today's webinar. Dear colleagues, in conclusion, I wish to note that the BSEC organization is willing and ready to further promote cooperation and coordination in the Black Sea region. We call upon all stakeholders to increase their efforts and take full advantage of the opportunities the existence of BSEC offers in our common effort to achieve greater economic integration and, of course, better connectivity between Europe and Asia. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kravenko. I think it was important to see all the great work that BSEC is doing, and also, as you said, a great invitation to foster new cooperations and the developments in the region. We see a lot of infrastructure developments that will enhance accessibility, and this is important. So we now have a few the time for a few questions. Please feel free to raise your hand if you would like to ask a question to our speakers of the first session, and you can write it on the chat, and we can pick it up. So any questions that you would like to raise? Yes, Mr. Georgiadis, you have the floor.
Good morning to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank you, Mr. Skoutopoulou, for the invitation. Let me introduce myself for a while. I'm representing INE, the Infrastructure and Ecology Network Europe, working on ecological, let's say, development and connectivity on transport and other, let's say, transport modes. I would like to ask if there is all these are great plans and strategies, but I would like to ask if there are the Green Deal, all these green infrastructure strategies of the European Union are integrated in all these plans, which is the most critical challenge for this century that we are living. Because as we have to understand in the European level, in the west part, we are going now to defragmentation projects, as in we have great examples in Netherlands, and in eastern part, we have very natural and virgin, let's say, areas, and transport has to be developed in the respecting, let's say, the natural. And actually, we have to see how to integrate green 10G with 10G. I would like to see if there is a kind of perspective, and on behalf of INE, I would like to see how we can join effort on further development.
Thank you, Mr. Georgiadis. As we saw in the presentation of, for example, Ms. Patrici, there is alignment of the strategies with the Green Deal. But as you rightly point out, there needs to be a special attention on the sustainability aspect of the infrastructure developments. And I think possibly it's a great opportunity also of Vienna to be in contact also with BSEC and the other organizations to see any ground for cooperation. But I would like to ask the speakers if they would like to contribute by any intervention to Mr. Georgiadis' comment. Mr. Kravenko, any comment from your side on how you consider the sustainability issue within your plans?
Yeah, colleagues, of course, the issue is very important, and of course, we decide on different platforms of the issue. So as a BSEC, of course, we are trying to do our best, and we communicate with our member states how to implement the sustainability goals. So for the main focus in the period, especially in the period of coronavirus outbreak, of course, we are on facilitation of road transportation, and also, as I mentioned in my presentation, the digitalization also in the focus of BSEC. And as I see in our program, we have also discussion about the Belt and Road Initiative. Yes. And I will provide more information about this initiative because we have some recommendations from the Parliamentary Assembly of the BSEC. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I just may invite you to go through the action plans which are published on the web page of the transport community. We take into consideration the Green Deal and the recent conclusions from the Sofia summit by the Western Balkan leaders. And as I mentioned in my presentation previously, we have rail in the focus as one of the transport green, environmental friendly and green transport mode. And since the 2021 is going to be European Year of Rail, we are going to invest a lot of efforts in promoting all these initiatives and projects part of our action plan. So feel free to go through the action plans which are published on the webpage, and you will see all these green elements incorporated in the road, rail, and transport facilitation, as well as the road safety actions.
Thank you. And just to point out that the presentations will be available from the websites of the co-organizers of today's webinar, so you can find the information there and also look up the different action plans. Do you have any other question? Yeah.
Just if I may, I would not like to repeat what my colleagues already said before me, but the same applies also for the both strategies, the Adriatic Ionian strategy and the Danube strategy. Of course, in all our plans and actions, we take into account the Green Deal priorities, as I already mentioned in my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jovanovic. So, any other question? Otherwise, I will suggest that we move ahead to the next session. I would like to thank the speakers of the first session for their contribution and hope they can be with for the. So the second session focuses on accessibility as a component for regional development. And I would like first to give the talk to Mr. Fokion Zaimis, Deputy Governor of Entrepreneurship, Research and Innovation of the region of Western Greece, who will be talking about the general aviation and the interconnection of small airports. Mr. Zaimis, the floor is yours.
First, we'd like to share a video.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I will have just a greeting and a quick speech because I don't have a PowerPoint to show you, but I want to make some points about the general aviation. I've been working in this area for several years in the aviation area, and I have seen that there is a big gap in the area of general aviation and small and medium-sized airports in the area of Greece and the whole Balkan countries, the Balkan area. The situation is that we have a certain category of planes, which is small planes, which is up to 6 to 8 people maximum. This is the area we call general aviation. This is the category we call general aviation. Private planes, or they could belong to a company or private planes. And we have a total number of those planes approximately in Europe, more than 50,000 of those planes. Now there is a lot of circulation of these planes within Europe, and sometimes they go up to the from Spain, I would say, up to the maximum would be Turkey. In the area of Greece and the Balkan area, unfortunately, we do not receive a lot of those planes because we don't have the necessary infrastructure for that category. Because the aviation sector is focused mainly on the large planes, on the big aviation companies in the big airports, due to financial reasons. It's obvious. There is a trend, though, and there is an opportunity, I believe, for all of the countries of the Black Sea to organize not only one airport in order to attract this high, middle or high income planes, owners of planes, we need to have a network of small airports that will be ready to accommodate this category. We are working as a region in our area because we own the small airport called Epitalion, which is near the ancient Olympia, which is a very important archaeological site, but within a distance of 20 minutes, our region of Western Greece is the owner of a small airport like that. And we are in the process of upgrading the infrastructure of this airport. And we are also in the process by the end of the year to get the necessary license by the Civil Aviation Authority in order to attract this category of planes. This is what we do as a region. But I think that we have to start thinking how other countries or other regions as well will also have similar small airports in order to create a network of airports. Because if they come to our region, in our country, then the next would be another region in the same country or in a different country. So I believe it's of our common interest, business-wise, tourism-wise, to create that network of these airports. I know also, because I follow the trends in the United States, which is a leader in this kind of aviation, that a lot of these airports do not need a lot of human resources. They are not airports of a lot of people. A lot of airports now have machines of approach, and they are very automatized, the procedures. Therefore, what we need to do is to define these airports all over the Black Sea and all the countries, and make the network, and then have some kind of a program that would help upgrade their infrastructure. Everything will become automatized, and the approach, the landing, the security, which is very important, very minimal staff. Therefore, I would like to say to everybody, and if I have the agreement of the ICBSS, to start having maybe a group of people, and we'll start develop a study about how we can create this network of small scale airports. I believe it's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. There is a lot of income that we lose right now, and certain countries in Europe are taking advantage of this lack of infrastructure that we have. And I believe that it is our duty to start working on this subject. I will be here if anybody wants to have a question, because there are many issues also involved, tax issues, the supply of gas, and other issues as we can talk. But I do not want to go to a lot of details and give a lot of difficulty in that phase. I want to show you the big picture, and I want to see who else is interested to participate in a group in order to start developing this idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Zaimis. I think it's a great idea and the proposal from your side, and I guess we have a number of participants with us today, representatives from different regions. I think it's important that there is a connection between the different regional authorities and proceed with this study and see what opportunities are there to exploit also for the infrastructure developments. And I know that Stavros has a small video to show. Stavro?
Yes, just a moment.
Yeah.
I'm loading.
And I note Mrs. Canovari, we will have questions at the end of the session, so I take a note on your name and we will give you the floor at the end.
It's not this one, just a moment, I'm sorry. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it. There is no sound, Stavro. Just. Stavro, I think the video has ended.
I think there's a problem with the video.
Thank you for sharing the video. I think it was really good to see like a promotional product that can be also used for supporting this this recommendation of connecting the regional airports and promoting the tourist product at each region.
If I may say, the important is to work together, because if this category of tourism, which is middle to high, when they will come to our area for 2 or 3 days, they would definitely go to another area for another 2 or 3 days. So we have to build a network. This is the most important thing for a common interest. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Zaimis. So we can now move ahead to the next speaker, Dr. Aphroditi Anagnostopoulou. She's a senior researcher at the Hellenic Institute of Transport. And her presentation today will be on digitalization of freight transport services, a leverage for development in the Balkan area.
Hello, and good morning to everyone. Just give me a second to share my screen. Can you see my presentation now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you all. So I hope you are all well amidst the challenging times that we're going through. Good morning to everyone, and thank you all for your participation. Today's presentation is based on a running project, the SCOPE project, in which we study the digitalization of freight transport services, developing a freight exchange platform, and how this leverage for development in the Balkan area. This project, the SCOPE project, is funded by the Balkan Mediterranean Interreg program, and partners from Albania, Bulgaria, and Greece participate. We aim to address existing inefficiencies and improve the performance of the road freight transport system in the Balkan area by providing a transnational, innovative, and market-driven freight exchange platform. For this reason, we assess local and transnational road freight transport conditions, and we identified needs and requirements of stakeholders, both carriers and CPRs, and we pointed out critical issues to be considered in the development of a freight exchange platform. Freight transport is a major market estimated to reach about 17.5 billion US dollars by 2023. And studying the road freight transport industry, we could understand that by using modern technology, freight transport could be optimized and could also optimize cost efficiency, enhance a sustainable mobility environment, and deliver operative intelligent transport as CITS. In the context of this study, we realized that freight exchange platforms have been largely investigated and operated by numerous members of the global freight industry. Speaking about the Balkan area, road freight transport activity appears a high share with more than 60% of national model split of freight transport. And for this reason, in Albania and Bulgaria, a targeted national strategy was set to address two significant goals. First, to enhance private-public partnership in transport sectors in order to increase multinational activities in the freight logistics sector, and second, to modernize the current CITS national infrastructure by promoting the establishment of new tools in order to reduce logistics costs in both national and transnational levels. These national strategies aim to affect their low logistics performance indexes, the LPIS, as you can see also in the table, which is 2.6 for Albania and 3.0 for Bulgaria, when the average LPI is 3.6. Greece has a slightly different key challenge area, focusing on rail freight transport infrastructure, since this is the main reason for Greece's underachieving performance in the EU logistics sector. As you can see also in the table, the logistic performance index for Greece is 3.2. Therefore, we understand that in Balkan area, there is a high necessity for innovative measures that new digital applications should be developed in order to assure competitiveness freight transport markets comparing to the average European level. Regarding freight exchange platforms, 65 are offered in English language and come from the Northern American countries, USA and Canada, as well in the European Union region. Focusing on the European area, we observed that the key players of the freight transport digital industry are the United Kingdom and the Germany, which offer their services in a pan-European level as their locations are vital for the current trans-European transnational network, the TEN-T network. In the Balkan region, the transport industry mainly uses traditional ways for freight transport services, although recently started also to use digital freight transport platforms and appear also willing to become early adopters of newly launched platforms for a small portion of their activities. In the context of the SCOPE project, interview sessions were held by representative chambers in each of the participated countries, and we observed that the majority of transactions and arrangements are handled with conventional methods, such as corporate networking, phone calls, etc. In particular, in Albania, currently the carriers and shippers prefer two main online platforms developed within the country, the Transmogul and the Urus Forwarding, mostly for their online information and communication tools, and also for their booking options for international cargo shipping. On the other hand, in Bulgaria, freight industry has exploited major pan-European freight exchange platforms that are based outside of Bulgaria. These platforms are the Spector.net, the Trans-EU, and the Timocom, which offer different freight transport services for both national and international cargo shipments. Finally, Greek freight transport industry uses platform with worldwide applications such as Timocom, which is also used in the Bulgaria area. And also in Greece, the industry uses platforms produced by young Greek entrepreneurs such as Nest Cargo and Freights. Identifying the needs and requirements of road freight transport in Balkan area, 3 local workshops were organized, one in each country. Several stakeholder groups participated, such as freight and logistic SMEs, associations and clusters, organizations in consultancy trade sector, as well as research organizations and universities, in order to gain valuable information for developing a freight exchange platform. So, overall, the digitalization in more detail, the carriers and the shippers have pointed out that they are eager to use freight exchange platforms on a daily basis for traditional and transnational services. However, they mentioned that the relevant national authorities should support this initiative due to the legal issues of cargo shipping procedures. Carriers have indicated that several internal and external barriers discourage them from exploiting a freight exchange platform, such as a limited hardware and software for the carrier drivers. The fact that the majority of drivers are mature, over 40 years old, so this means that they need specific training programs to learn how to use properly these digital tools. And also the majority of these digital freight exchange platforms and their services are not available in mobile devices with a user-friendly interface. Therefore, these issues have to be considered and tackled during the freight exchange platform's development. Within the implementation of the SCOPE project, we had the opportunity to discuss with relevant stakeholders and the critical issues that should be considered in the development of a freight exchange platform include the connection and integration with other modes of transport, rail, air, maritime, and secondly, the freight exchange platform should provide higher digitalization of administrative services, also to ensure high quality and security and protection of data, and to provide value services such as analytical tools, simulation services, training services, and services of cost optimization and estimation. Overall, the digitalization of freight transport services by developing a traditional innovation-driven platform will promote the development of strong transnational business links and collaborations between shippers and carriers from different countries in the Balkan area. In addition, it will provide to the market a valuable tool to be utilized in day-to-day from shippers and carriers, providing significant benefit to its users for improving their performance, sustainability, and territorial competitiveness, and thus enhancing the current business environment. It will also provide to its users access to new markets and customers, offering significant business opportunities. Efficient road freight transport services offered by the platform are expected also to provide significant capabilities, especially for SMEs, supporting their viability in this sector. Shippers will have better access to road freight transport services, especially for LTL shipments, which are often costly and not preferred by the carriers. For carriers, the use of the platform may result in better fleet and vehicle capacity utilization, improved load and fuel efficiency, reduced empty trips, improved corporate image, reduced unproductive vehicle times, better advertising of their services, improved revenue streams. All the aforementioned efficiencies will also provide major environmental benefits, improving the quality of life in Balkan area. So we can understand that digitalization of freight transport services could support not only the industry sector, but also the environment and the society in the Balkan area. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Anagnostopoulou. I think it's great to see what opportunities exist to digitalize road freight transport services. I think the region accommodates a large amount of freight transport volumes, also coming from the ports that the region accommodates. So with the new investments that we see now on the ports in the region, it will be important to accommodate this increase on trade, on transport volumes with such digitalization services. So I think it's important to also see the final outcomes of the project and how it can contribute to that goal. And we move now to the next presentation. We will discuss the Belt and Road meaning for the countries of the Black Sea region and regional development. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Sebastian Gullard, consultant at Co-organised.
Well, thank you for this invitation. I'm very glad to be there to talk about the Belt and Road and its consequences on the Black Sea region. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can.
Yes, great. So as you know, the Belt and Road Initiative is a major connectivity program launched by President Xi Jinping in 2013. Its main goal is to revive the old Silk Road. The Belt and Road Initiative presents two main elements. One is the Maritime Silk Road, and the second one is the Continental Silk Road. We talk a lot about the infrastructures, the new ports in Asia and in other parts of the world that are connected to the Belt and Road Initiative. But actually, the Belt and Road Initiative is also is not only about transport and infrastructure. It's also about let's say digitalization, as we talked earlier, but also about free trade. I don't know if you remember, but at the Davos Forum in 2017, President Xi Jinping gave a very powerful speech about the need for an open world and for free trade. And this is exactly the principle of the Belt and Road Initiative. And we also have to understand that the Belt and Road Initiative is not only about China. It can also be connected to local or regional development policies. This is exactly the case in Pakistan with the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, in Ethiopia, in Laos. And well, in this map, you will see some of the main corridors of the Belt and Road Initiative, the Maritime one connecting China to Europe through the Gulf area. You will also see the two main Russian roads connecting Manchuria and Western China to Europe through Kazakhstan, Russia, and then Europe. And there are also some minor corridors. The one connecting China to Pakistan and the one connecting China to Turkey through the Central Asia. So what is quite interesting is that the Black Sea region, most countries of the Black Sea region have embraced this strategy. On this map, you can see yellow every country that has signed a MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding with China regarding the Belt and Road Initiative. And what is quite interesting, and we'll talk about that later on, is that Russia, that is an important country of the Belt and Road Initiative, is the only one in the region that has still not signed a formal agreement with China regarding this matter. But we can see that in this region, every country is willing to develop Belt and Road Initiative projects with China. And China has already invested in Athens, in the port of Piraeus, in Istanbul, in the port of Kum port. And in the Caucasus region, you can see several ports, for example, Batumi, Poti, and Baku, that have developed a strategy regarding the Belt and Road Initiative. So all are very willing to join the Belt and Road Initiative. And they want, most of them in their strategy, they mention that they want their city, their port, to be an important transportation hub between Europe and Asia. And what we can see is that there are already some limited freight services from China to Baku, for example. However, what I would like to discuss this morning with you is that this strategy to become a continental hub between China and Europe may be not the right one for the Black Sea countries because of many different obstacles. The first obstacles are the geopolitical obstacles. As you know, the region suffers from some tensions, for example, with the Crimea. And so it means that transportation infrastructure and cross-border freight services between Ukraine and Russia are quite limited. It is the same between Armenia and Azerbaijan, or between Georgia and Russia. We also have to understand and to note that because of the sanction against Iran, it's also difficult to make railway services efficient, effective between China to Caucasus through Iran. Some countries, for example, Turkmenistan, are still quite reluctant to join the Belt and Road Initiative. So the geopolitical obstacles should not be avoided. We have to understand them, to formulate a right strategy for Black Sea countries to join the Belt and Road Initiative. Another aspect is that Russia, although it has not signed an agreement regarding the Belt and Road Initiative, is a very important hub between China and Europe. The Manchuria and the China Western region are connected to Europe through Russia and Kazakhstan. And Russia is currently developing a new highway connecting Kazakhstan to Europe, bypassing Ukraine and the Caucasus region. So for Russia, the Black Sea connection is to be avoided. Another obstacle comes from the Chinese themselves, because right now the Chinese prefers the Balkan option to reach Europe by the Mediterranean Silk Road. For example, China is investing in bridges in Croatia. China is investing in highways in Montenegro, highway network in Moldova. Of course, we have to mention the previous port in Athens, but we can also mention the railroad services between Budapest and Belgrade. And for the future, China's strategy is to connect the previous port to Belgrade and then Budapest and then Western Europe. What we have also to understand is that when China is investing or constructing infrastructure in one country, let's say Greece, it's not only to have access to the Greek market, but it's to have access to the Balkan market or even the whole European Union market. So without a strong integration in the Black Sea region, it's very difficult to attract Chinese investors or even other investors. We also have to understand that the highway services, the freight railway transportation between China and Europe is still quite limited. The target is not to replace all maritime freight transportation from China to Europe by rail. No, the objective is to reach 10% of all trade between China and Europe. And the priority is still given to maritime roads because it's maybe it takes more time, but it's easier. It's more convenient, and there are less hurdles at borders. We also need to understand that the routes connecting China to Europe still receive subsidies by Chinese authorities or Chinese cities. It means that these routes are still not profitable. So it's very hard now for Chinese authorities to develop new routes to the Black Sea region, because the existing ones are still not profitable. And then another important point that we need to mention is that although the trains from China to Europe are full of products, the one from Europe to China are still not at full capacity. Some of them are empty. So it's very difficult to develop new routes in the Black Sea region because we still don't know if the train coming back from the Black Sea region to China will be full or not. So what is important? These are some points that I would like to suggest. Well, in an earlier presentation, we talked about the importance of creating network. And I would say that it is also the same in the Black Sea region regarding transportation and freight transportation between Europe and China. The main ambition of these countries was to become a continental hub between Europe and China. And I do believe that it may not be the right approach. It would be better to focus on a regional hub. But to do that, you have to increase coordination between Black Sea countries in order to avoid competition. For example, if we take an example in Western Europe, there is no coordination between Mediterranean ports in Italy and France. So we can see, for example, the ports of Marseille and the port of Genoa that are competing each other regarding the Belt and Road Initiative. So this needs to be avoided in the Black Sea region because this leads to infrastructure replication. Another problem, as I mentioned earlier, is that the need to create regional markets. It means that if there is an infrastructure project connecting China to, let's say, Baku in Azerbaijan, it means that from Azerbaijan, it should be easy to transport goods then to Russia, to Georgia. For Armenia, it will be even more difficult. But without the creation of regional markets, these local strategies are doomed to fail. Another important challenge is the one of multimodality and transportation hub. It's really great to launch some big ports in the Black Sea region, but if these ports are not connected to railroad or not connected to airports, even small airports, they are not going to work. And another point that I want to mention is that many strategies are only focusing on transportation, and I don't think it's a good approach. Yes, they can become a transit point, but becoming a transit point does not really create job. If we take, for example, the case of Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan is a major hub between China and Europe. However, they are still not building the industrial capacities to use the transportation between China and Europe. It means that they are only a transit point, and this is not the best way to create jobs. So what is important for the Black Sea countries right now is not only to develop a common strategy regarding transportation, but it is also to develop a common strategy regarding industrialization and also regionalization. I would finish on that point, and if you are still interested by the Belt and Road Initiative, I strongly encourage you to visit the website oboeurope.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goulart. It was a very interesting presentation. I think it's important to consider the implications of the Belt and Road Initiative for the countries in the Balkan and the Black Sea region, what opportunities are there, and how these can be better exploited. And with that, I would like to move to the last presentation of this session. I would like to invite to the floor Mr. Mokanu, who will talk about Galati Transport Hub connecting the Danube and the Black Sea. Mr. Mokanu.
Yes, greetings everyone. I hope you can see me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Greetings from Galatz city. I will have a short presentation about some infrastructure projects in my area. Let me see if I can. Okay. It's okay?
I don't see it yet.
Okay. Sure. Okay. 1 second. Still.
We can see it. You just have to put it on full screen.
Is okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
So, greetings again, everyone. It's an honor for me to be speaker at this conference. A couple of words about Technopole Association. It should be a speaker from the County Council, but you will see on my presentation, Technopole Association is founded by the County Council and the City Council, together with the University of Lower Danube. And we are a tool of economical and social development in our area. Also on topic, I would like to say that we are now held the presidency of the International Black Sea Club. So we are near to some of your organization, and to others we are also member or have some partnership agreement. Also, Galatz city is a part of the European Danube-Rhine corridor. So this is what I'm about to talk today, about two big infrastructure projects in our region. One is the Galatz Belt, and the other one is the Galatz Brăila Bridge across the Danube. So the Galatz Belt will be started next year, I think. The tender is done, so it will be a new road with one lane in each direction. The total length is about 34 kilometers. That will bypass the city of Galatz from west to east on the northern part of the city. This objective is very important for our region. Not only that it will attract the local workforce in the implementation phase, being estimated around roughly 250 jobs. And it will cost about 145 million euros. This is a very good project for our region. It is financing from the investment objective will be made from non-reimbursable external funds and from the state budget also, through the budget of the Ministry of Transport, within the amounts approved annually for this purpose, as well as from other legally constituted sources according to the public investment programs approved by Romania. Furthermore, on the east of the ring, one of the important reason for this ring, for this belt, is the border with Republic of Moldova and Ukraine. It's approximately 3 miles from this belt, which will provide a new and easier route for heavy traffic in the area. The main purpose for this investment is to connect the bridge, which I will talk a little bit later, mainly with the European road that connects Romania to Republic of Moldova and Ukraine. So this is basically the points about Galatz Belt. And let's move to the next slide. The bridge across Danube finally It's another infrastructure project in this region. It's the first bridge on Danube between Brăila and Tulcea. It will be a part of the highway to Constanța, which is the biggest Romanian port on the Black Sea. Total length of the bridge will be approximately 2 kilometers, and the value of this investment will be 500 million euros. It will be a road suspension bridge over the Danube and between major city near Galatz and the opposite bank of the river, Tulcea. It will be the first bridge over the maritime Danube sector and the fourth bridge over the Romanian sector of the river. Hopefully, the bridge will improve road traffic accessibility of the Galați-Brăila area, also Constanța and Tulcea, so it will cover quite a big area in the southeast part of Romania. Also, it will be a part of the road connections with Moldavia, Muntenia, and Dobrogea. Also, in Tulcea, it will be crossing over the Danube to Ukraine. Is also a project undergoing. It will be analyzed, I think, in the beginning of the next year. Since joining the European Community, Romania, the country with the largest land area in South and East Europe, has given the top priority to the development of road infrastructure inside the country. The current project is positioned as a strategic project for national infrastructure development and also utilize the regional policy budget of the EU. That's what I was going to tell you today. Thank you very much for your attention, and good luck to everyone in their activity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mocanu. I think these are two important infrastructure projects that are being developed, and they will help also Galati to accommodate to a better extent the incoming and outgoing transport volumes.
Thank you again.
Thank you. So with that, I would like first to give the floor to Mrs. Irene Canovari for a question. I think she raised her hand during the presentation of Mr. Zaimis.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you for the invitation. I'm here on behalf of the University Popolare, Università Popolare in Fermo, which is the eastern region of Marche in Italy. And on behalf of Cesare Rossi, who is the president and who couldn't attend. I mean, my ears got very presentation from Mr. Fokion Zaimis, as Mr. Cesare Rossi is the owner of 3 idroscali. Idroscali is the seaplane base right on the coast of Marche. And he's organizing as well is a highway of the sky starting from the north of Italy, Lago di Seo, which is in Veneto, down to Gallipoli, which is in Puglia. And there are already 15 bases, which are small, I mean, for small planes and seaplanes ready to accept and accept touristic facilities and people who want to visit the areas, different areas, as well as they have already organized package tours around these areas where there are the airports. So I think that with Mr. Zaimis, we are right on the same, on the same area plane, as we would like to get in touch and to extend this rate, this web and highway down to the eastern part of Europe. Right where we are at the University Popolare, we already have a Cessna Caravan and a Twin Otter right there. But we are already connected with 3 different hydroscali, which are the seaplane bases on the Marche region. The basic concept is that we understand what your efforts are towards, and we are doing the same on our part. So I think that we should talk further and keep in touch, basically.
Great. I think, yes, the recommendation of Mr. Zaimis was attracted a lot of attention, and I guess you need to be all in a network to discuss what opportunities there lie there, and how we can work with this proposition. Mr. Zaimis, would you like to respond?
Yes, of course. It is very interesting, and would be very happy to have Mrs. Kano information. I don't know how you can organize this. Maybe the moderator. Thank you.
Yeah.
Old style.
I will take a picture. Yes, I will take a picture.
Yeah. I can write it on the chat otherwise.
Yeah.
Please, I will take a picture. Okay, I took a picture. It is very interesting.
Done?
Thank you. Yes, done.
Yes.
I will send you my info. Although there is a little bit of differentiation between the seaplanes and the small planes, but I think that the philosophy is the same. The philosophy is the same because it helps a lot the touristic development of areas that. Yes.
I mentioned the seaplanes because that is a novelty somehow in our interest. But we already have planes, and I think, as you mentioned, there are 20,000 small planes around
50.
Europe owned by pilots who are ready to start this aviation new tourism.
I could show you a map that I've been working on that shows that in certain countries the air traffic is very big in this. And in some other countries, there is a complete lack of traffic. So right. I think that the opportunity is to open the traffic in the areas that do not have it right now.
Right.
So whether
and
it's
also to link the areas.
Link, yes, but of course,
Good.
I think we have there are certain problems we have to solve, like fuel and like customs, but I think that the countries first who are in the Schengen Treaty is more easy to connect much quicker. But I think there is no problem that cannot be solved. Last 3 years, we had an event in Kalamata, in the city of Kalamata, in the airport for 3 days, and we had gave hospitality to more than 50 planes all over Europe. So we showed to the local authorities that it is possible to organize these kinds of events, and it's a tremendous tourism opportunity. And especially now, even with this pandemic of COVID, this kind of tourism is even more important because it's not mass tourism, it's niche tourism, and it's not as expensive as it used to be. It's more the price of a plane like that, for example, is like a price of a good car, and all the situation is become the European laws have become more flexible, and it's more easy. Even the latest regulation of the European Commission has made that you can even do sharing of plane, and people can use it. So the framework, the legal framework, it's much more easy today. So I would be happy to see we can do some common projects with you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks to you.
Thank you for your comments, and I think Mr. Zaimis, maybe an idea will be also to have another webinar online meeting on addressing more specifically this issue and bring together different stakeholders that can express their opinion and see how this network can be facilitated, just putting on the table. So we have a few minutes because we're running a little bit late for another question. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Kravchenko.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, thank you. Dear colleagues, in what concerns very interesting presentations, in what concerns the Belt and Road Initiative, actually this initiative presented new opportunities for the BSEC member states since all major routes that are to be promoted by this initiative will pass through the territories of the BSEC member states. So I also would like to inform that at its meeting in August in 2000, PAPSEC General Assembly adopted the relevant report entitled Legislative Framework for the Realization of the Projects Connecting Europe and Asia, Belt and Road Initiative, and the relevant recommendation, which contains proposals for the national parliaments and the governments of the BSEC member states. And also PAPSEC recognized a growing international interest to this initiative aimed at boosting cooperation as well as to prospective benefits from the implementation of these projects for the BSEC region. Just for the information, the above mentioned reported recommendation are available at the website of the Parliamentary Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you. And I see also there is a comment and a question in the chat of Ms. Gilava about the Belt and Road Initiative and how it fits with the Black Sea proposal. So I don't know, Dr. Goulart or Mr. Kravchenko, if you would like to respond to that.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Well, as I told you, what is important now is to develop the regional mechanism, to develop a regional market in the Black Sea, and to coordinate every local initiative so that it matches with the Belt and Road Initiative. So this is the next step to adopt in the following months. There is no big difference between all these strategies and initiatives, but what it is still lacking, it's my opinion, it's a common strategy at the regional level. Of course, with your organization, this is going to move, but we have to convince governments that it is in their interest to coordinate their policies regarding the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yeah. Okay. As we have been running a little bit late, I would like to propose to go to the next session and the last session of today's webinar, which focuses on skills for sustainable regional development. And I would like to invite the first speaker, Mr. Toria, active state representative in the Sameglero-Zemo Svanati region in Georgia, to take the floor. Mr. Toria, can you hear us?
მე არ ფლობ ინგლისურ ენას უყოფილად და მადლობას გიხდით მოწვევისთვის.
Hello everybody, thank you for an invitation first of all, and I just want to sorry about my language barrier, so I will have the interpreter who will translate.
მე როგორც მოგეხსენებათ, წარმოვადგენ საქართველოს, ვარ საქართველოში სამეგრელო ზემოსვანეთის სამხარეო ადმინისტრაციის ხელმძღვანელი.
Right now I present Senegal's Zemosvanity region, right now acting state representative from Senegal's Zemosvanity. Acting state representative will share the experience and the priorities of Senegal's Zemosvanity region as a hub region connecting Europe and Asia, and the skills needed in short future to modern transport requirements in our region.
თემას გაცნობილი ვარ და ჩვენი რეგიონისთვის და მთლიანად სახელმწიფოსთვის აქტუალურია.
It's very actual the process of going in light of the globalization process, the transport sector.
გლობალიზაციის პირობებში საქართველოს მდებარეობის გამო ქვეყნის ეკონომიკური განვითარება პირდაპირ დაკავშირებულია ტრანსპორტის სექტორის ეფექტურ და სრულფასოვან ფუნქციონირებაზე.
In light of the globalization process and due to the location of Georgia, the country's economic development is directly related to the proper and effective functioning of the transport sectors.
საქართველო, როგორც მოგეხსენებათ, მოქცეულია ევროპისა და აზიას შორის იმ ადგილას, სადაც ხდება ძირითადში სტრატეგიული ტვირთების გადაზიდვა.
Georgia is located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, where the transportation of strategic goods is conducted.
სამეგრელო ზემოსვანეთის რეგიონს აქვს მნიშვნელოვანი როლი ამ კონტექსტში მისი სტრატეგიული მდებარეობის გამო შავი ზღვის სანაპიროზე.
The role of Senegal's Zemosvanity has key importance in this context due to its strategic location on the Black Sea coast.
საქართველოს ჩვენი რეგიონი სამეგრელო ზემოსვანეთის ტერიტორიაზე არსებობს ასეთი ქალაქი ფოთი. ზღვის
Okay, today I will focus on Poti port and we'll talk about the importance of this port.
ასევე არსებობს ასეთი შედარებით მცირე ზომის პორტი, რომელიც კონცენტრირებულია ნავთობის ტვირთების დამუშავებაზე, არის ხობის მუნიციპალიტეტში, ხობის მუნიციპალიტეტის ყულების პორტი.
Railway and road systems are connected to Poti seaport, Contract and Naples seaport, all terminals to the main transport hubs.
მესმის მე ვისმენდი მithარგმნიდნენ და დეტალიზირებულად როგორ ხდება სხვა ქვეყნებისა და რეგიონების წარმომადგენლების მიერ თემატიკის განხილვა ამ შემთხვევაში ამ შემთხვევაში უბრალოდ რო კონდეს დამსწრე საზოგადოებას, რომელსაც კიდევ ერთხელ მადლობას ვუხდი თანამშრომლობისთვის, მინდა ვისაუბრო და გავაცნო ჩვენს რეგიონში არსებული სატრანსპორტო საშუალებებზე.
Today we will talk about regarding the Poti terminal and the transport opportunities in our region.
ამაზეც ხო უნდა ვისაუბრო. ფოთის პორტი არის ერთ-ერთი ძირითადი პორტი, რომელიც ისტორიულად საუკუნეების განმავლობაში მოქმედებდა და ამ მოქმედებისა და განვითარების შედეგია ის, რომ ფოთის პორტს შეუძლია დაამუშავოს წელიწადში 8 მილიონზე მეტი ტონა ტვირთი.
Potisi Port is the largest port in Georgia, handling container, liquids, dry bulk cargo, and passenger ferries. The multi-purpose facility has 15 berths and total coil length of 2,900 meters, more than 25 cranes, and 17 kilometers of rail track. The port serves as a European gateway for international trade in Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan, and is ideally located to become a hub for Central Asia trade.
ასევე მინდა მოგახსენოთ, რომ ფოთის პორტში ოპერირებით და მფლობელობით შესულია ასეთი კომპანია IPN ტერმინალი, რომლის მფლობელი გახლავთ ცნობილი კომპანია Maersk.
APM Terminals has invested over $85 million upgrading to outdated port infrastructure and service facilities, including the construction of a new customs center and new rail and truck facilities.
ასევე იქვე ფოთის ტერიტორიაზე მიმდინარეობს მშენებლობა ამერიკის შეერთებული შტატების ინვესტიციით და PSPAC აწარმოებს ამერიკის შეერთებული შტატებთან ერთად $123 მილიონი ინვესტიციის განთავსებას ახალი პორტის მშენებლობის კუთხით.
Also on the territory of Poti, the PACE group operates 8 Poti ports, berths, and raised PACE terminal. A new ultra-modern terminal is now planned for construction. Cargo turnover will subsequently increase by 2 million tons.
ასევე მინდა მოგახსენოთ, რომ IBM ტერმინალის ტვირთბრუნვის სიმძლავრე ამ ინვესტიციის განხორციელების შემდგომ იქნება გაზრდილი 4 მილიონ ტონამდე ნაყარი და საკონტეინერო თვირთებით.
APME Terminal Poti announced its plans to create a deep water port by investing $350 million of the private capital for phase first and the substantial for phase second and an extensive development of the port infrastructure and superstructure.
ასევე კომპანია PACE-ის მიერ ინვესტირებული თანხების ათვისების შემდგომ და პორტის გაშენების შემდგომ აღნიშნული კომპანიის ნავმისადგომებს შეეძლებათ დაამუშავონ 2 მილიონამდე ტონის თვირთები.
Also equipped with the latest technology, the crane has a load capacity of 100 tons and can handle various types of cargo, such as containers, bulk, general, and project cargoes.
რაც შეეხება თვითონ კორიდორს, რომელიც ფოთის პორტიდან იწყება და საერთაშორისო საზოგადოებისთვის და დაინტერესებული პირებისთვის ცნობილია, ეს არის ტრასეკას კორიდორი. ტრანსკავკასიური სატრანსპორტო კორიდორი.
Also, Poti Port lies on Traseka corridor, transport corridor in Europe, Caucasus, Asia, and has a transit pattern between Europe and Asia.
და ტრასეკას კორიდორი არის თავისი სატარიფო პოლიტიკით კონკურენტ უნარიანი. ასევე რაზე საბაჟო კანონმდებლობა გვაქვს ლიბერალური, გვაქვს სასაწყობო მეურნეობები, სხვადასხვა სახელმწიფო პროგრამებით ინვესტირების შემთხვევაში მხარდაჭერა ეხება თითოეულ ინვესტორს, როგორც ფინანსური, ასევე ქონებრივი თანამონაწილეობით.
We have a liberal customs legislation, various state programs in case of investment with both financial and property co-participation.
მინდა მოგახსენოთ, რომ თვირთების გადამუშავების ნორმები არის მაღალი სტანდარტები.
All the norms of cargo handling in a high level standards.
ასევე უნიშნულოვანესია, რომ ჩვენს ტერიტორიაზე, საქართველოს ტერიტორიაზე არსებული პორტებს შეუძლიათ შეუფერხებლად მუშაობა წლის ნებისმიერ დროს.
The port operates mostly throughout the year.
ასევე მინდა მოგახსენოთ, რომ ყველა ცნობილი კომპანიები, მათ შორის სურვეირული კომპანიებს გააჩნია წარმომადგენლობა პორტში და მუშაობის პრაქტიკა. ეს არის SGS და Alex Stewart და ასე შემდეგ.
All famous companies have their personal representatives in Poti. such as SGS, Alex Stewart, and etc.
რაც შეეხება ფოთისა და ყულების ტერმინალებიდან ტვირთების გადაზიდვას თვითონ საპორტო ქალაქებიდან აზერბაიჯანის, სომხეთის, ყაზახეთის და შუა აზიის ქვეყნებში მათი წყილობრივი მონაცემები რკინიგზას უკავია 50-დან 60%-მდე, ხოლო ყველა სხვა დანარჩენი გადაზიდვა ხდება საავტომობილო საშუალებებით. ასევე მინდა მოგახსენოთ, რომ დაგეგმილია ჩვენს რეგიონში ერთ-ერთი პორტის მშენებლობა, ეს გახლავს მუნიციპალიტეტში ანაკლიის პორტის მშენებლობა.
Also, I would like to mark that it is planned in the municipality Anaklia Deep Sea Port. This will be first Georgian container port with a deep water, state-of-the-art infrastructure and equipment. These factors will create port productivity, efficiency, and reliability along with superior customer service. Okay, the improved port will increase trading capacity for the country, which is important. Presently, is connecting Central Asia and Europe. The project will create many permanent and local jobs and support the economic development of the Samagros and Osmanli region of Georgia.
კარგი, მე ვეთქვი, მე ვილაპარაკებ და მადლობას მოვხდი პირადად ბატონს, რომელიც არის წარმოვიდგინე, და გარდა ამისა, მადლობა მინდა დამცველ საზოგადოებას და მსმენელებს მოწვევისთვის და ჩვენი პრეზენტაციის მოსმენისთვის. ასევე შემდგომი შეხვედრები, როდესაც იქნება აუცილებლად იქნება ჩვენი რეგიონიდან ჩართულობა და განხილვა თითოეული საკითხის. უბრალოდ მე და ჩემი კოლეგა პირველად ვერთვებით ამ საკითხებში და აქედან გამომდინარე შემდგომში უფრო დაწვრილებით და დეტალურად მოვუყვებით ჩვენს რეგიონში არსებულ სიტუაციებს და ჩვენი ჩართულობა იქნება მაქსიმალური.
Thank you once again for an invitation. Sorry for some inconvenience because for us it was the first we are joining this program, and next time we will prepare the detailed information and detailed presentation. Thank you again. If you have any questions, please feel free.
Thank you very much for your intervention, and it was good to hear about the developments and investments that have been that are undertaken in both the ports and terminal operations. So we really appreciate your participation today, and we will follow up with other activities as well.
ძალიან დიდი მადლობა თქვენი პარტნიორისთვის უდრესო. ძალიან მნიშვნელოვანია ტერმინალის სიები და თქვენი საუბრის ყველაფერი და ყოველთვის შეგატყობინებთ.
კარგი. დიდი მადლობა კიდევ ერთხელ მინდა გადავხადო და
Thank you once again.
Thank you. Okay. We can now move to the next speaker, Dr. Albayrak, Associate Professor at the Faculty of Economics and Administrative Sciences at the Department of Maritime Business Management at the Peripheral University in Turkey, who will talk about innovative approaches and cooperation for sustainable development. Dr. Albayrak.
Thank you very much, Lefteris. It's good to see you again, and thank you for inviting me. This very interesting webinar. It's been very fruitful so far, but unfortunately, I think we are end of the time. So I will keep very fast. I will just go over the slides quickly because most of the slides are self-explanatory, and I think you will post them later on to your website. So anyone who is interested in future project collaboration with any of us, with the BSAMI, Black Sea Association of Maritime Institutes, I will be happy to contact and talk to them for the future opportunities. Can you see my slides?
Not yet. You should press the button next to the microphone in order to share your screen.
It says it was open for a long time, so it's open on my screen, and I'll try it one more. How about now?
I don't see your presentation yet. No. Stavro, can we help?
I can share the PDF, and is it okay?
It is okay. Anyway, just as I told you, I will go very quickly, so I have to solve this problem. I'm using this system every other day for lectures.
Just a moment to...
Murphy has worked here. Let me try one last time.
Can you see my screen now or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let me...
It's uploading. Okay. I hope now it's fine.
Yeah, I can see it now.
You can?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, so as I said, I think all audience is seeing that one. So this is me from Peripheral University. I'm also secretary of Lexi Association of Maritime Institute, which I will explain you shortly. Stavros, please go ahead. I'm not going to elaborate on this more. We all know the opportunities in the Black Sea, like the growth potential, energy, transportation hub, tourism, which is only thing for some small towns and cities. It's only open access for some coastal states. Fishing and aquaculture is another case, and there are many developing new uses. And also there are many threats in the Black Sea, as we all aware. The next one, please. Like the chemical pollution, loss of biodiversity, the solid waste. The next. I think it will not work like this, like eutrophication, unusual form of pollution from ships due to ballast waters, and discharging insufficiently treated sewage waters are the main problem that need to be addressed. All these different human activities performed in the Black Sea area requires innovative approach, good planning and cooperation, so as to avoid conflicts and create synergies between users and to protect the ecosystem. So we approached the problems at two stages. The first one was the awareness. Well, actually, we have heard lots of projects this morning, but this is normally because we are academicians, the academic projects. First, we wanted to create awareness in the region by developing educational programs, and then establish the common knowledge, competencies, and skills. And recently, with some other projects, the soft skills and attitude or well, we aim to respond to increasing management complexity, combine the resources and services provided by the seas, and integrate the management framework, maritime affairs, and legislation through the academic programs and educational projects. It also includes joint research programs as well. So I will just give a short briefing about the projects, some of the major projects we did so far, and some new ones that we will be carrying. Well, actually, this marine project, this being the first project with the neighboring countries in the region under NP, European Neighborhood Partnership Initiative. It's initiated by the Romania Mircea Salvatran Naval Academy and the Piraeus University under IPA fundings, and we have included the Ukraine and Moldova in this project. In this project, we have achieved these objectives like the recognition of the common navigation and trade traditions of the people linked for millennia by the Black Sea and main tributary the Danube, development of new updated lifelong education, training, and research programs in order to cope with the new technological, economical trends in the maritime industry, promotion of the professional and personal values of the maritime occupations. Just after this project, as soon as we became familiar with others after a long time, so we have developed one project named the COMAR. By the way, all these projects are still available in the websites that you will see at the slides, and anyone can reach and get the results and the material produced. Most of them are course material and presentations. So in this project, besides Black Sea, we have also included one partner from Baltic, the Polish Naval Academy, because there are many things resembling, both the opportunities and threats wise in the Baltic Sea and Black Sea. So it's been a good exchange of best practices. And at the end of this project, we have developed one unique curriculum. Although all universities are subject to STCW convention, but they are delivering these courses under different courses, different lectures, or at different times. So when we have an exchange of students under Erasmus mobility, it was not possible to cover the whole semester. Now with this, at the end of this project, these universities and some others who are involved later on in the project have one common semester, common curriculum, which is completely recognized by the others. This enhanced and increased the mobilities, unfortunately, until this pandemic. Hopefully, we will revert to these exchanges when the things get normal. And I already explained this. You can pass this one. Another project, then 2 years ago, we have started and just concluded last year. This was at the IMO top list. This top of the list of the IMO agenda, the human issues, the human seafarers. And the aim was to increase the rate of employment and the retention of female professionals. Well, this is not only a Black Sea project, but it's established by the Black Sea countries. But then the project was evolved and the results were shared with anyone interested and also presented in different places. Next please, stars. So we have in all projects, actually, not only in this one, we are having lots of multinational events, conferences, stakeholder conferences. So even without the project has concluded, we start to inform people in our local communities, international arena like the IMLA and IAMU conferences. So everyone, the maritime community, especially the academic community and relevant stakeholders, become fully involved and become aware of what we have been doing, and we are taking their inputs, which are very precious. So next one, please. This project, well, this slide is not very clear, but you can read it later on. The project was about the gender issue, but at the end, it became a sort of diversity management issue because it's not only gender, but there are several issues to be handled on board the ships and other maritime other parts of the maritime sector. So this course material available for free for anyone who is interested. And the partners, the project members have applied this in different ways. Some of them established short courses, or like myself, I included in my leadership classes. So it can be used by different means. Other major project now is an ongoing project. It's the Maritime Innovative Network of Education for Emerging Maritime Issues. The world is changing. There are several issues coming in front of us, and business is not as usual. So we have established this project with the partners from Black Sea, but then included let me read them by the names as well. Piraeus University, Constanța Maritime University, Nicolae Vatsforov Naval Academy, Bulgaria, University of Aegean, Greece, Marine Cluster, Bulgaria, Municipality of Piraeus, and CPMR, which became a very good asset through several projects with us. Not only dissemination or wider distribution of the project activities and results, but also providing links with the policies, strategies, which is being in the heart of these issues, and being a very good asset for all projects, and almost became a permanent partner for us. And project will end in 2020 August, and the results will be shared, but not at the end. We are sharing these results with several newsletters, and CPMR has took this responsibility, thanks again, through their widely distributed newsletters. They are informing the whole maritime community about the ongoing project activities. Next, please. Well, at the end of the project, there will be a business management master program, which will include 3 modules: integrated maritime policy, port and maritime logistics, and port management and ship operations. At the end, the first one will be run by Piraeus universities. The second one will be run by Bulgarian Naval Academy, Nicolae Vatsforov, and the third one will be University of Asia. These will be just coordinators of the programs, but they will be open to anyone interested. Firstly, not only to members, but all EU, and then all Black Sea countries can utilize, send students. That will be through distance learning, and specifically not today's problems, but to answer the future of the maritime issues. Therefore, we are giving very much importance to the stakeholder conferences to get direct feedback of the industry. Next one, please. Yeah, that's I talked about. We can pass the next one. Okay, I would like to make the announcement here that we will have the second International Stakeholders Conference. The first one was done in Istanbul at Piraeus University. Now the second one will be hosted by University of Aegean, Chios. Sure, again, distance or remote or virtual means. It will take place, we just decided date yesterday, so the date was missing here. It will be on 26th of November at 17 hours Eastern Europe time. So you are all welcome, all interested parties, and we will be happy to see you, to have your inputs, and to inform you about the status of the project. So once you show your interests, I will send you or I will make University of Aegean to send the conference details, the agenda, and the joining links.
Dr. Albayrak, 2 minutes, if you can conclude.
Okay, I'm almost finished. So another project is, as I told you, once we develop the competencies, then we are concentrate on skills, and this is a project coordinated and applied by the University of Aegean. It's about the soft skills. Let's go faster, Stavros. Okay, it's again the contemporary shipping for the sustainability, and regulations are changing both national and international levels. There are new technologies like blockchains, automation, digital transformation, and the most important part, the human element. There are multicultural groups, they are increasing, diversity increasing. So we have decided to respond to these changes by, yes, please. Developing new skills and competencies to correspond efficiently to the international shipping industry requirements. Next one, please. We will try to bridge the gap of shipping and world requirement, bridge the needs of maritime professional, bridge experience gap, exchange best practices, and the ultimate aim is to bring to the IMO attention model course that could be compulsory for all maritime academies and universities. Okay, let's pass this. There are too much details since these are newly accepted projects. Another project is for Blue Seas is strategic partnership for supporting blue growth by enhancing maritime higher education, maritime cooperation framework on marine pollution and environment protection field. Yes, please. So the partners are MHS Albatran Naval Academy, partners from Slovenia, France, and Lithuania will be taking part in this project. It's just started a few days ago. And at the end, we will have some teaching learning materials again for the promotion of the green and environmental friendly shipping and port operations, exchange teacher and students in the new project during the course of the project. There will be teaching components, research components of the project, and dissemination as we do it in all projects. Yes, please. Okay, I've already talked about this. You can continue to next slide. And trying to turn the crisis of pandemic to an opportunity, the new call of the EU has given us to develop 3 new projects. One is the Maritime Simulators Network, the other one is Maritime Engine Room Online Simulator, and the third one is the unique project, a Maritime Culinary Arts, which is for the local people and adult learning, to give them an opportunity by attending some 5-6 we will decide on during the course of the project, but become a marine cooker. We have a marine cookery department at the university, but it's 2.5 years, so not everyone can afford this. But those who want to work as a kitchen staff can become by working in these courses and get some certification to work on board ship, mainly for yachts. And also this project will explore the neighborhood relationship through the historical background of the marine foods and also the cultural heritage behind. Yes, please. I think the time is over. I will pass the other projects which are explanations can be found on the website. I have to say a few things about the BSAMI. The BSAMI was established in 2010 in Istanbul by the initiative of 6 littoral countries. Yes, please. And in the years, the member has increased. Now we have 3 universities from Turkey, 1 Bulgaria, 2 Romania, 1 Ukraine, 1 Russia, and 3 universities from Georgia. And MOU also signed by the CPMR to coordinate our future works together. And most of the members of the BSAMI are taking part in the projects, and the others are utilizing the results because of the number of partners for the project budget. Well, I would like to inform all participants, and I will send an invitation for this on 20 to 22nd January. We will have our annual scientific conference. The topic, the theme of the conference will be emerging trends, challenges, and opportunities for MET. So you are all welcome, and all interested can send me their details if they're in my list, or they can contact the CPMR. So we will be happy to see you both as a participant and a speaker. So we are also interested in the OBOR project that we are dealing with Shanghai Maritime University to establish a Belt and Road University Alliance for maritime education and innovation as part of ongoing strategic approaches. Thank you very much.
Great.
And thank you, Stavros, to you as well for helping me.
Thank you, Dr. Albak. It's great to see the work that you are doing on the skills side for the maritime sector, and it's great to see that you have a number of projects that are have been completed, have produced a number of valuable outcomes, but you have also other ongoing, also utilizing state-of-the-art equipment like the simulators. So it's great to, I guess the presentation will be shared, so any of the participants that would like to retrieve more information can also contact you and get in touch. All right, so we now move to the last but not least, presentation of the third session. It will be focusing on advancing the skills ecosystem for professionals in the blue economy. And Mr. Ramos will describe the mentor's legacy and the overview of the new Sea of Experience project. Mr. Ramos?
Thank you, Lefteri, both for the invitation and the introduction. I'm going to share my screen now.
Great, we see.
Great. First of all, let me say that it's a pleasure to have the chance to say a few words in front of such a wide and diverse audience about the ongoing Sea of Experience project and its predecessor, the Mentor project. By the end of this short presentation, and I will respect the delay we have so far, you will have a small taste of what the Mentor project was about in the Eastern Mediterranean and what we are doing now in the Sea of Experience to advance the skills ecosystem in some selected blue sectors. So the main aim of the Mentor project was to establish the Blue Career Center for Eastern Mediterranean and Black Sea. The project was about the identification of skills and gaps that are currently and will be in the future relevant in selected blue domains, as well as efforts to enhance the skills through visits, lectures, seminars, workshops, and some other educational activities. There were 7 partners participating in this project, and it was coordinated by the University of Cyprus. These partners were from 4 different countries, and there were 4 institutes or entities participating from 4 observing countries: Turkey, Lebanon, Jordan, and Egypt. Here I have a small video. I hope everything goes good. This is a part of an educational video. Do you have the sound?
No, I cannot hear the sound, but I can see the video.
Okay. This video, okay, I will speak over it. Let me mute it. This video is part of a larger educational video that was developed during the Mentor project. As you can see, we have some technical skills which will be presented right here. You will notice that we have seamanship that was included along with other technical skills, although not actually a technical skill. The project partners agreed to include it because it felt that it was both important and to not be neglected, but highlighted in every opportunity. This project has a legacy for us now in Sea of Experience, and ever since the first results were available, we were planning on how to further capitalize on them. One of such items or legacy is the establishment of the Blue Career Secretariat with representation in Greece, Bulgaria, and Romania, the participating countries, visits to over 200 schools for mentoring career guidance, both to students aged 15 to 18, and also to young student professionals. We developed 5 introductory e-learning courses for the maritime sector, offshore oil and gas industry, the aquaculture sector, cruise tourism and fishing tourism and ecotourism. Those were the sectors we were focusing on. And among others, we organized 8 Blue Career fairs in the form of one-day workshop in the whole Eastern Mediterranean and Black Sea region. Moving on to the Sea of Experience project, this is a co-funded project by the EU, particularly the EMFF, the European Maritime and Fishery Fund, and it has a duration of 3 years. We have just completed the first year of this project. We have 2 countries participating, Greece and Cyprus, and the project is coordinated by us, the National Technical University of Athens. The ultimate aim, as you can see here, is to develop innovative mentoring training initiatives that will enable students and professionals to acquire new skills, diversify and expand their existing skills and competencies. Our target audience are students, young professionals, and teachers, and the project focuses on 4 sectors: the maritime transport, shipbuilding and ship repair, port operations, and the cruise industry. These target audiences will be approached by face-to-face and digital tools. Those include some workshops, summer school competitions that were initially intended to be face-to-face, but now, given the COVID situation, we are considering having them as virtual meetings. And also we have the virtual reality and 360 videos and some digital competitions to promote and enhance the skills used in the industry. All of these come together with the sharing pooling platform, which was initially intended to be just an online repository for educational material to be used for mentoring, which is the focus of the program. But due to the situation right now, we enhanced the capabilities of this platform to have virtual meetings, to be able to share links, have a chat, schedule the sessions, and have it all in this virtual environment. There are 3 main initiatives in Sea of Experience. First, we are conducting some educational activities in the form of 1-day workshops and 3-day summer schools. The themes of these activities are relevant to the blue sectors I mentioned earlier, and each workshop and summer school will focus on a specific sector or 2 specific sectors. Next, we plan to host a number of competitions, both face-to-face and digital. Of course, we are monitoring the health crisis and the official guidelines to see how exactly we will be able to implement these activities. And finally, and the most important in my opinion, given the situation, are the Become an Expert for a Day initiative. These include actual visits to see a professional at the place of his work and the development of 360-degree videos and virtual reality videos to be used as a reference between the mentors and the mentees during their sessions. These videos are interactive and give a pretty realistic experience as if the visit was on site. I can show you another small video, which it's actually an exercise. It's not one of the official videos, since we have completed just the first year of the project, and we have mainly developed so far the most fundamental aspects, the key elements to move forward. Before this, you can see a timeline. The first 2 workshops have been concluded recently. The second one was yesterday, and we are moving forward for all these activities, with the 6th technical workshop being the last. So I will show you the videos and close my presentation as fast as I could. This is from our visit in a shipyard for another project actually, but we managed to get some shots and show what the final output will look like. You can see you can navigate inside the shipyard with some extra information added on these elements we have here. And the mentee can actually click on some videos, choose, and have some added information on that. So in that case, the user clicked on the excuse me about this, clicked on the crane, and he could see how the two halves of the ship, which is actually not so common to encounter for somebody in his career, were removed and moved apart. So this material could be in the form of some PDF files, some pictures, or having a narrative. I guess you didn't have the voice in that video also, but it's actually pretty loud. It clearly represents what's going on in a shipyard, so that the mentee, somebody who is interested in following this career, can have both a mentor to ask some questions and a relevant environment to see what they are both talking about. So that was from my side. You're welcome to visit the project website, and you can get all the updates from there, since from now on we are planning to upload more and more content and initialize our mentoring sessions with the mentors we have found, the proposed mentors who want to participate so far, which is about 25 to 30 professionals.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Ramos, for the very interesting presentation. And I know that the Sea of Experience project is ongoing, and as you said, any interesting web user can find the relevant material in your website, and you will be posting there, I guess, whatever comes up from the project.
That's true, yeah. And thank you again for the invitation and the chance to show this.
Yeah, that's great. So I know that we are 30 minutes late, so I would like to just give the floor to anyone that is interested to ask a question to our speakers. If you can raise your hand and just put on the chat your question. Do you have any? Yeah, Stavros?
No, in fact, I'd like to make some remarks in the end. So please feel free to make your questions. I know that some of you had some comments, so if we could take a round of questions before closing or before our remarks. No?
Hello, Stavros.
Hello. Hello, President. Hello, Luca. Is it President Moldovan? Yes, please.
Yes. I want to thank everyone for the great webinar, and you for this organization. And I expect a new webinar on transport and other issues of the Black Sea and Balkan. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We also have from the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Rezersky.
Thank you, Stavros, for giving me a floor. I also would like to thank you for organizing this webinar. It seems very useful for me. And I think that all the presentations are very interesting and will be fruitful, and this information will be used. So I would only one small remark from my side, that the Common Maritime Agenda for the Black Sea that was adopted in 2019 by all the repairing countries provides a very good political framework for cooperation in the region and for the cooperation in the transport sphere as well, because the transport priorities are also a part of this document. So when we are speaking about the common vision or common strategies of development of the cooperation in this region, we have such a framework as a Common Maritime Agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there are no other comments or questions, may make some remarks and then give the floor back to the moderator?
Sure, go ahead, Stavros.
So thank you all for the excellent presentations, for the great organization and the very interesting and inspiring food for thought that you shared with us. I'd like to say that as CPMR and Balkan and Black Sea Commission will take everything into consideration. We'll try to facilitate speakers and other participants that expressed an interest to matchmake them so that we can move on to some concrete ideas for cooperation. We'll also take everything into consideration for the upcoming CPMR intercommission working group on transport. So we'll share with the other CPMR members from across Europe our Balkan and Black Sea perspective on this very interesting topic, providing many opportunities for collaboration in the area. We will get back to you as as Professor Al-Bayrak said, with the next meeting, the multiplier event of MINE EMI project on maritime education and training. And we'll also share with you very soon, we'll send you the invitation to the Syrica conference we are organizing on the 3rd of December. The Syrica intergroup is an intergroup at the European Parliament. The CPMR provides the Secretariat to this intergroup, and we are organizing our very first event focused on the Black Sea. So you will soon receive the invitations, and we hope to see you all there so that we can follow up. I mean, what we discussed with the organizers, and we are very surprised and happy that we see that the participants are interested in that we'll organize. So this today's webinar provided the general framework. It gave us an idea of what's going on in the Black Sea and the Balkans on transport, and then we can follow up with specific thematic webinars so that so the three organizers, because we only see the CPMR and the CERTH, so together with the ICBSS, of course. So the same, let's say, consortium will organize specific thematic workshops so that we can better follow up on the different areas of interest raised today. So this is from my part. Thank you again, Mr. Zdukopoulos, for the co-organization and moderation. A great thank you to Ms. Georgia Handzi from the ICBSS. It's a pity we cannot see her on the camera. And I give you, Lefteris, the floor for the overall conclusions. Thank you again.
Great. Thank you, Stavros. Thank you for taking the time to mention the next steps and the new events that are upcoming and will be very important for the participants to consider and participate and share their views. I will just take a few minutes just to recap. I think, as you said, today's webinar was a starting point to see where the developments stand on the transport sector in the Balkan and Black Sea region, to see what policies are contributing to cooperation, what priorities have been set, and are different projects are ongoing in order to achieve them. We saw the developments also on the digital side. We saw how the infrastructure can enhance accessibility and also support trade increase, given the support also, or the driver of different policies like the Belt and Road Initiative that will probably drive an increase of trade, of the Eurasian trade, with the Balkan and Black Sea region playing an important role. And of course, these developments need to be coupled with initiatives that focus on upskilling. So different projects, different approaches, or in order how to enhance the skills of students and the young professionals and we saw a number of projects that are ongoing and aim to support the European skills agenda and drive growth in the sector. So my final remark is, as Stavros said, it will be very interesting, and we'll consider all comments received and expressed today to see what other activities we can do in the future. For sure, it will be great to have some more thematic webinars, so focus on specific subsectors of the transport sector and see there in more detail what opportunities lie and what other chances are available to exploit. So from my side, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time for being here. I'm really sorry for the delay that we had, and I look forward to see you again in any other of our events, and be also in contact with you and discuss potential partnership, but also exchange of information and material. So I would like to thank you very much and conclude today's webinar.
Thank you all. See you soon.
Thank you for coordinating this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.